You're listening to The Mark Cox Show. Find everything Mark Cox at 971talk.com/Cox.
I can see the Christian Brothers doing this for me at Manhattan College, yeah.
If you didn't like the way an election came out.
Yeah, if I didn't like the way the election came out, they were going to give me therapy food. I think they'd give me something else. The reality is they're a bunch of spoiled crybabies.
Rudy Giuliani talking about these protesters across the country, and quite frankly, I couldn't agree with him more. I mean, it's just it's ridiculous when you see it. All right, well, I tell you what, there's one man in America who has been saying for as long as I've been talking to him that Donald Trump would be the next president of the United States. And guess what? Wayne Allyn Root is our guest right now, the website Root for America, author of Angry White Male. Wayne, I think America listened.
I think they listened, and they listened big. And I think my book, Angry White Male, hit the nail on the head how it was all going to happen. It was going to be 40 million angry white males. I believe the final numbers are white males went 50 points high for Donald Trump. He won by 50-plus points. I think it was 52 points was the final number, one of the greatest landslides of the history of politics. And it was angry white men and angry white women, because, you know, he won among white women as well, and I'll bet among white married women. I didn't see that stat. But if you went that deep into the details, into the weeds, I'm sure he won white married women by 70, by 70 to 30. So it was a pretty dramatic victory. It was exactly what Van Jones, the Obama commie, said on CNN, a white lash. This was a white lash. Now, he would say it's because of racism. I would say it's because of the fact that the middle class has been completely screwed over in our country, and the middle class happens to be predominantly white. Yeah. It had nothing to do with race. It had to do with socioeconomic status, and people who are white and middle class feel like we've been screwed over, and people who are white and working class feel like we've been screwed over. People who work for a living are sick of paying taxes so that other people can live on welfare checks. So all it comes down to is a lot of working people got angry, brought out their pitchforks, and said, we're going to come burn down Washington, and Donald Trump is the middle finger to Washington. Let's do it. And that's what happened. That's it, right there in a nutshell.
I think I see Commerce Secretary Wayne Allyn Root in the future.
I don't know about Commerce Secretary, but I certainly would offer my services to Donald in any way that I can help. I think I'm more of a small business guy because I am a small businessman. So we'll see what happens, but I have a lot to offer, I think, the country, and I made all the right predictions, and I made all the right arguments for Donald. My biggest argument was very simple to all the conservatives, all the Republicans who were establishment who wanted to, denigrate Donald, and he wasn't their right guy, and I put arguments out all over this country for the last month that it's such a simple argument. It's Trump or the end of America. Because Hillary would open the borders and turn America into California. No Republican will ever win statewide office in California ever again. Ever.
Right. No,
ever,
I agree.
Ever. Why? Because you fill the country with the state with foreigners. Most of them illegal, but in general, foreigners who have no love for American values or anything I believe in. They don't know anything about the Constitution. They don't love the military or the police. They don't love capitalism. And so you convince them to take welfare. You let them in illegally. You convince them the Democratic Party will keep the welfare checks coming. And you've built a machine of nothing but Democrats in California. They want to do that in the country. And if Hillary had won, you would never again elect another Republican as president because she would fill this country with foreigners, and that would be the end of it. We were at the tipping point. Donald Trump election now stops that. We actually are in control. We got the Supreme Court for the next 5 decades. In other words, I think he'll name 4 Supreme Court nominees, and we will be in control of business and other type of rules that come up in front of the Supreme Court will go our way for the next 5 decades. That's what we just did. We just saved America from tipping over into socialist territory. What a great, great victory Tuesday night was.
It was a great day in America. So, speaking of what Trump has done to the Republican Party, you said that, at Hillary, and I agree with you, had Hillary Clinton been elected, there may never have been another Republican elected in this country with her plans on illegal immigration and amnesty and all that. But moving forward, what does this Trump victory mean for the Republican Party? Because I think that he's redrawn the lines for the Republican Party, and if they're smart and they can take advantage of it, it's a new day in America for Republicans.
Yeah, I think so. I think if Donald Trump is smart, there's several things that he ought to do. from the first day on. I think from the first day, he just has to aim to make America open for business again. And the way you do that is very simple. You've got to cut taxes dramatically. You've got to cut regulations dramatically. Use executive action to kill lots of regulations. And whatever it is that needs to be done to kill Obamacare as if it's a vampire, and we've got a sword, we're going to stick it through its heart. Let's slash it. Let's burn it. Let's put a tire around its head and set it on fire. We got to kill Obamacare and make sure we erase every vestige of it. It's a disaster that's destroying every small business in America, killing every middle-class job in America, wiping out the middle class's bank accounts with premium increases through the roof. We've just got to stop Obamacare. So, to me, what he's got to do is cut taxes, cut regulations, kill Obamacare, all of this quickly, and he's got to build the wall. He's got to build the wall. And I think there's a simple way to get it done, by the way. And, I know he wants Mexico to pay for it. And there may be some way to do that, and we give $300 million a year in military aid alone to Mexico, so just cut it off. If they don't want to pay for it, just keep the $300 million a year for the next 10 years. That's $300 million times 10, $3 billion over the next 10 years. And they'll quickly come to their senses and figure out another way to do it. But that still won't pay for a $12 billion wall. So you know what we should do? Ask the American people to volunteer. Ask the American people to each put up $100 and get your name on a brick on that wall. And I guarantee you millions of patriots and millions of taxpayers would be thrilled to put a brick up in the name of their kids and grandkids to build a wall, and then go to corporate America and say, this is like a NASCAR race, and I want you to put your patches on the wall. I want you to sponsor pieces of the wall. I'm about to tell this, Donald. This is the way to get it done. You're a brilliant marketing maven and promotions guru, Donald. So you bring that to the White House. Let's turn everything into a promotion. Let's have a telethon to build the wall. Let's ask the American people on a telethon starring Donald Trump, and I'll be the host of the telethon. I'm a salesman, man, and let's go out there and raise money to build the wall. I think we'll get it done, but Donald has to build the wall.
Well, when you see these, I don't know what happened in Las Vegas yesterday, but in Washington and in New York City and other cities across the country, L.A., these protesters are out burning cars and blocking highways, just having a complete temper tantrum over this election.
Yeah, and look, I'm a New Yorker, and so I love Donald Trump and I love Rudy Giuliani. They're my kind of guys. We're all a little bit grumpy. We're all in your face. We tell you what we really think, and Rudy hit it right on the head. They're a bunch of crybabies, and I don't really care what they think. As a matter of fact, the important message I want to get across to Donald in general is that there's going to be a lot of people pressuring you now to be nice, be a different person as president. No, you were elected for your voters. You were not elected for liberals who hate your guts. You don't have to do them any favors. They want you to go nice on Hillary and don't prosecute her. They want you to play nice with Obama. They want you to just be a nice guy and a totally different guy. That isn't what got you elected, and that's not the group that got you elected. You owe your people to be the guy that you promised you'd be, to build the wall and not back off on that, and to cut taxes and not back off, and to kill Obamacare and not back off, and to lock her up, Hillary, and not back off, and to put Lois Lerner in jail and prosecute every IRS official who thinks they got away with it under Barack Obama, but now they should be shaking in their boots. You need to be the tough guy. None of this is about retribution or revenge or being a fascist, as liberals will say. This is about the rule of law. And people broke the law, and they've got to pay a price for it, or the next group will break the law. You got to teach politicians and bureaucrats that if you break the law, you go to prison, so the next guy doesn't break the law. That's all.
Yeah, it's a good point. Wayne Allyn Root, you've given me one of my favorite drops of all time. I'm going to play it for you.
Rich men like to have sex with pretty women.
You gave me that the last time I had you on the air. I love that.
Right?
So thank you for that.
Women like to have sex with rich men. The opposite is true, too. So I think Donald Trump, I think everything I said was validated, right? Everything I said was validated right there. Because everybody said women will never vote for Trump and he'll never be elected. And Wayne Root said, everyone understands this is no big deal and women will vote for him. He will get elected, and sure enough, he was. This is Brexit. It's so much bigger than whether you've ever had sex with pretty women. It's so ridiculous that was ever an issue in the first place. Any woman who held that against Donald was never going to vote for Donald in the first place. I met so many women, and not one of them cared at all. They care about the debt. They care about the lack of jobs, and they care about Obamacare, and they care about terrorism so their kids are safe at night. They don't care who Donald Trump had sex with for the last 40 years. None of our business.
That's a great point. Hey, Wayne, let me direct people to your website, rootforamerica.com, and also check out his book, Angry White Male. Wayne, it's always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you.
Yeah, Angry White Male makes a great Merry Christmas gift for the guy in your life. I'm telling you, Angry White Male. It's a Merry Christmas. They'll read it and just start laughing. Oh, my God, how did this guy figure out that's how Donald Trump was going to win? The whole thing is right there laid out in the book.
That's great. Hey, Wayne, thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
All right, take care. I told you to strap in. Wayne is a bundle of energy.
Rich men like to have sex with pretty women.